Okay, so good evening, race fans. Here we are once again with another episode of Riding Shotgun Conversations with Tuason Racing. And tonight we have the third of our new series of episodes where we're going to interview entrepreneurs in the automotive industry, this time a race car driver. So our guest tonight is a personal friend and a race car driver I have raced against, and she's fast. This lady is a race car driver, a cover girl, a influencer, and has made the jump to being an entrepreneur. Everybody, please welcome Gaby Dela Merced. Woohoo!
Woo! Thanks for having
me. Hey, Gabs, how you doing? So tonight we have Gaby Dela Merced and Adobo. How you doing, Adobo?
This is actually extra rice now.
Oh, extra rice. Adobo and extra rice.
This
nice.
Is his first child.
Okay, how you doing, you guys? Welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, JP.
Well, thanks for being on the show. And tonight is all about Gaby Dela Merced. We want to talk about you. We want to talk about your accomplishments. We want to talk about what are you doing now? What's keeping you busy? And of course, your journey in motorsports. So to get things going, Gabs, why don't you tell us your story? How did you get started, and how did you get to where you are today with racing?
Wow. Okay. Well, I pretty much grew up with boys. I have 3 older brothers, and my father used to have a secondhand car dealership, and we would go there for, wala lang. That's where we'd spend our days. And I remember he used to give me a toothbrush and a bucket of water and tell me, for each car you'd clean, you'd get 20 pesos. So he can give it to one. You're like, oh, saya.
20 bucks.
Wait lang child labor yun. But anyway, that's how I got interested in cars. We would always go to car shows. He'd always join that. Then fast forward, got really interested in video games because of my brothers, and it was racing games in particular that I fell in love with. And I remember telling them, as soon as I hit 18, you can't stop me, I'm gonna race. And so it started with a beat up old 1980s Toyota Starlet, which I did slalom in. Then I eventually went on to circuit racing, which I did PTCC for the first, I think, 2-3 years. I stayed there. Then yun.
I think we've got some photos which will help us sort of date all of this as well for the fans out there. So let's take a look at these photos. There we go.
Yeah, that's PTCC.
The purple Honda Civic. How can you miss it?
They called it what did they? Oh wow, like purple sunshine, something like that. I remember when
Barney was it?
This line because it had flowers. A flower power. They called it flower power. My mechanic wouldn't. No one from the team wanted to drive the car. They're like, oh, put it in the garage. No, I'm not gonna drive that thing. I'm like, why? It's beautiful. But anyway, yes, that's where I started. Old LX. Yeah.
Okay, well, I can see that this is at BRC, and because of the smart logos there in the back, that must be Formula 3 days, right? Early 2000s.
Early, yeah. Even pre-Formula, that was 2000, actually. 2001. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were already winning races at that time.
I was luckily harassing people to the front spots. So,
nice.
I've been fortunate. Yeah. I was...
Well, I think we've caught you with some with a photo on the podium. Let's take a look at this. There you go. So I don't think you were harassing people. I think you're winning, beating them badly.
Yeah. Coincidentally, he was my teammate for 2 years, Nico.
Ah, okay, cool.
He was with Caltex first, then switched over to my team, and we were teammates. And that was the Frenchman. Forget his name. But this one was in Subic, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I can. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Subic International. Oh my gosh, I miss that place. I grew up there.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Miko has made the jump from real racing to virtual racing. We're waiting for you, but that's another topic. All right,
Hopefully.
let's keep moving. What have we got here?
Okay, so basically, I remember hearing about Formula BMW through, I think, Don or Enzo, and they were talking about it, and I was like, hey, there's this program wherein you try out. It's like, I want to try that. I want to try that. So what I did, sorry,
Okay,
one of my other dogs. This is Eggnog.
hello.
At that time, I recently got my first hosting gig, which was Rev Challenge. With my paycheck, what do I do with it? I buy myself a motorcycle, much to my parents' dismay. Anyway,
Nice.
during that time, I was like, hey, how do I get into Formula BMW? And I saw I had to travel and I had to pay a certain amount to try out. So I'm looking for sponsors, couldn't find sponsors. So I was like, you know what? I'll sell my bike and try out. So originally it was supposed to be in Italy. Then they moved it to Johor, Malaysia. It was like a 3 or 4 day event. Flew there for the first time. Flew there alone, not knowing anything. Yun. Then luckily I was one of the, I got into the scholarship. And I think this one is in Sepang. Yeah, my race in Sepang.
Wow. Okay, so I remember you had a really interesting gimmick on the side of your side pods of your race car. You had an interesting logo. Make us cuento about that.
Ad here. I think, yeah, you can see it. Okay, wait. If that is there, I think that was Bahrain.
Bahrain. Nice.
This one is in Sepang. The first, so I was thinking, okay, I only have a limited amount of sponsors and I need to find a way to, raise money. So I literally, on the side of the formula, put your ad here and my phone number. And I remember Tyson was racing also during that time. And I remember when he spun out during practice, I saw the camera zoom in because we were one of the front races for Formula 1 during that time.
Right.
And I saw it zoom in perfectly. Tapos nag-slow-mo. I was like, I need to do that during the race. Get the perfect angle with my number. I didn't get any sponsors because of that, but I did get a couple of dubious calls. Yeah. So that's
they're like, wow, this good-looking racer left her phone number. Might as well call her.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So from Formula BMW, where did you go?
From Formula BMW, I went. Okay, so I did Formula BMW. I did Formula Toyota locally also at the same time. After that, I got an opportunity to do Formula 3, which is what you're looking at right now. This was, I think, during my first race. This was in BRC. Yeah, I was with Edgeport during that time.
Yeah,
he's the one that took care of me. Yeah,
great race engineer.
Yes, amazing race engineer. Hopefully, I'd really like to work with him again soon. Yeah, so that went around. Yeah. So we did that. It went around locally and a few races around Asia, which was very, very fun. Then after that, I actually wanted to, because the goal was always I wanted to try going to the States and race there. That was the goal. I remember I was talking to Angelo Barreto nung time na yon, and he kept on talking about like, Gab, I know people from the States, yada yada yada. And I was like, okay, tara, let's do it. And I remember a few weeks before that, I didn't hear anything from him. I was like, you know what? Let's go. I contacted my best friend from 5th grade, who I haven't seen since first year because she moved there. I said, hey, can I live with you first? And I think I stayed there for around 4 months with, I think, $600, something like that. As in, awang-awa sila sa akin. Like I just buy a burger. I wouldn't buy, because I didn't know how the living expenses were there. And they're like, yeah, well, sige, here na yung price mo. But anyway, I was doing like 50 random emails to like, just like typing, searching, hey, I'm here. Do you wanna, is there an opportunity? Whatever, I was just like emailing, hounding people, doing cold calls. Then because of that, I was invited for Lynn St. James, which was a scholarship program for women. So I got to do that.
Wow.
Then I did that, ended up in PBB. I left PBB because of the scholarship, ended back inside. Then after that, I actually did get a gig, which was the 25 hour of Thunder Hill, which was a year end.
Oh yeah, with Robbie. You did that with Robbie, right?
First time. Actually, I think I sent one of the photos there.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So before we go to that photo, though, I think we have something very controversial, right? So let me put this on screen real quick first, and then we can go to Thunder Hill.
My favorite
So
photo
that's right, during F3 days, we have this really controversial photo. Unfortunately, we cannot remove the happy face because there's going to be a lot of happy people watching. So for those of you that want to know what's behind the happy face, please send Gabby a message and she'll vibrate to you.
Yes. I will,
because I don't think Facebook will let us post it.
Happy to show you what's hidden behind the happy face.
Yeah, so there's make it cuento, Gabs, real quick.
Yeah. So
what's this all about?
During the time of Mossimo was the major sponsor of Formula 3, so they got their swimsuit models. Obviously, I wanted a nice strapping young man, and I got one. Hopefully,
Nice.
when I do get to race locally again, I'll bring that back.
Nice.
Yeah.
So it's basically a chiseled dude in his Speedos, right? That's what it is.
Chiseled dude in his Speedos. Kulang na lang yung mga cufflinks.
Ayos.
That's the dream. That's the reason why. So anyway, yes.
Nice. So the next photo we've got is what you were talking about a second ago. It was Thunder, the 25-hour race, right?
Yes, the 25-hour race of Thunder Hill. It was my first time to race in the States, first time to race in the cold. And this was actually, we had to stop for an hour. I think this was around 3 a.m. because it was too foggy. So,
yeah. Wow, cool.
Yeah, crazy.
What a reason to stop racing. Yeah, can't see. But tell us about that experience. That must have been awesome.
Yeah, it was an awesome experience because of that. I got an invite with OPAC Spoon in the States to try out the following year. And I went there, I flew there, I tried out. I was lucky enough that they got me. So I raced for Spoon for the Western Touring Series Championship. So it was an endurance race. So it was like,
oh wow,
it was around 4-6 hour races that ended with the 25-hour race. So in the last,
what tracks did you guys race at? That's amazing.
Sonoma, Willow Springs, Button Willow, Thunder Hill. Yeah, so it went around those tracks. So sometimes it would be day, sometimes it would be night races, which was fun. Not exactly that fun for me because Spoon wanted it pure production. So all we had were the HID lights, and the people it's like 10 lights at the bumper, 20 lights at the hood. So when you'd have the prototypes behind you, it's like a shadow. But it was fun. It was a very good experience. The photo that you saw with me, I was actually beside the founder, Ichi-san.
Okay, so this photo. Okay, so this is the founder of Spoon or the race team?
The founder of Spoon. So they
awesome.
The last race, it was a 2-car team, and it was an all-Japanese team. Nakakatuwa. It was him, I forget, the creator of Polyphony, basically Gran Turismo. He was there. Then I forget. This is so bad. Anyway, the chief engineer was also amazing. Takeda-san. And yeah, it was an amazing experience to be beside them.
And when you say Takeda-san, like our Takeda-san, Philippines
No.
Takeda-san?
Takeda-san.
Different Takeda-san.
From motor tuning? Is it tuning motor? Wait. Okay, I will not put out any
Takeda-san.
nouns.
So this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So after this, what do we have? What happened next in your career?
Okay. What happened actually that was bittersweet at that series. We were gunning for the championship. On the last race, we were tied, literally tied with the team we were up against, which was a M3 BMW. And we were supposed to win. During the last race kasi, it's usually a 2-man team. And since it's a 25-hour, it goes up to 4 to 5 people. So they needed someone else, another person. So they invited someone else. And he was in charge of registration. And he thought that we had a better chance in a lower category. So he decided to put us in the lower category. So I didn't know that because of default, basically, we lost the championship. So it's like, then I got injured. So I stopped a bit. I stopped a bit for around 3 years, I think. Then I got into this. I was invited by my old team manager from Korea from Formula BMW to try out for this team, which is called Team Champions. Is in Autopolis. This is with the S6000, the CJ Super Race.
Was that Hong Sik the guy? Hong Sik was your... Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, so Hong Sik introduced me to this team. And yeah, I went to Korea. I tried out. So I raced with them for a good year. So originally it was supposed to be with the Veloster, the Kia. And I ended up racing the Genesis and their Protos, which are these crazy cars. As in crazy. It's a beast to drive. I mean, my neck was snapping all over the place with that car.
And how many races and where did you race?
It was around, so the series went around China, Korea, and Japan. There are 3 tracks in Korea. Then there's Autopolis in Japan. I think it was Zhuhai in China. I can't really remember. But yeah. So it was a fun series.
Oh, that's amazing. Those tracks. And Autopolis, I hope you had some good weather at Autopolis. It can be crazy out there, right?
Oh man, it was storming. My track walk was an experience, so to speak. And I was sick. I just came from the hospital. First time to get hospitalized in like a decade. I was hospitalized for 15 days. And 3 days later, I had to fly there. So what the team did, while I was there, they would actually bring me to the hospital nearby. So I'd get like certain they would they would IV me with vitamins or something like that. It's not good. It was interesting.
The things we do to go racing, right?
Yes, that is true. Yeah. So that's my experience with that. Yeah.
Okay,
that was
great.
fun. It was very fun. Yeah.
So you got some more photos. What year was this, Gabs?
That I think 2014 or 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is still the same car, right?
Yes, that is still the same car. Because we had pit stops.
Okay.
Yeah, we had... Oh, no, sorry. That was just like... yeah.
Okay, so basically it's a prototype car, right? It basically is just a It's a tubular frame with a body on top of it.
Yeah, so it's a tubular frame with a body to look like the S6000 because all the major series that they would have over there would have to be Hyundai.
Okay, right.
Hyundai or Kia. You know, it's all
Okay.
like, yeah. So with honestly that car, so it was around 480 horsepower wheel, but it
Wow.
it was like F3 on steroids. The shifting was a little rudimentary, but
Yeah.
the wheel and I can't explain on how hard that car was to drive. But it was fun. It was fun. I raced with a lot of Koreans and Japanese. That was the
Okay.
only time I think no one really. I had a translator beside me who had a hard time also speaking. So I remember I've never made so much sounds to the engineers on how to explain what the car felt. Till Korean, like, explain. Like that the whole time. Um, yeah, it was interesting, yeah, so to speak.
Cool. Very, very cool. Okay, so moving on. What have we got next? Okay,
Uh,
so this is kind of cool. What is
so
this called?
this is TA2 Transam. This is TA2 Asia. I think they started the series 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and I met the owner when he went over to the Philippines before during an endurance race, Craig through Dawn, and he invited me to try the car, to test the car in Bira. Yeah,
Okay.
Bira in Thailand. So I went there, tested the car, and honestly, during that time, because it was literally a few days after endurance, I knew my neck was hurting and everything. So my experience was, okay, this is gonna be something like CJ Super Race, because you know it's a muscle car. It has more horsepower. This I think had around 630. So I was like, this is gonna be
Okay.
hard to drive, but surprisingly, it was really, it was a fun car. So I drove that. Then I was like, okay, how to find out how to get in it. And I managed to get the funds. So I raced the following year. And the first race, the picture on the left is actually in Sepang. The picture on the right is in Bangsan in Thailand. It was a street
Oh,
race.
wow, that's a great track. Yeah,
Oh,
Bangsan. Yeah.
it's a beautiful track. Right beside the sea. You know, you could hear the waves literally. 10 meters, you could walk 10 meters in out of the track and you're literally at the beach, which
Yeah.
was
Super
amazing.
high speed in certain areas, climbing up, going down, and then walls on the left and right, like a
Yeah.
mini Macau, right?
Oh, trust me, I've kissed the wall twice, and it
Yeah,
hurts.
I think we have a photo. Is this is this some
That's with my
parts? I don't know if those are parts from the wall or not.
Yeah. So yes, so you can see my bumper right there. Yeah, I felt that. I felt that in my pocket.
Okay, super cool.
Yeah. So
And then what year was this, Gabs?
this was just last year. So I did,
Oh, okay.
and I was fortunate enough to do a few races also with V1. I have used
Yeah,
for that.
that's right.
So I was with. Speaking of, I'm wearing it here. Yeah.
Yay. Woo.
So I was with M1. So I'm really thankful for Seymour. Seymour was my team manager also during Formula Toyota with Standard
Mhm.
Insurance. Yeah, so I got to do that all the way till the endurance.
Wow. So that's Gaby Dela Merced's racing career for you right there.
That is,
Amazing. How many years did all of that span, more or less?
parang ayoko sabihin kasi masakit. I started 2000. So let them do
2000. So
Madali lang naman kasi 2020.
That's about 20 years of racing. So you're like about 22 now, right?
Yes,
That's about right. The math. Yeah,
25.
with your blonde hair.
Yes.
So Gabs,
Mhm.
tell if that was your career in motorsports, tell me what was your biggest challenge that you ever had in motorsports?
Oh, biggest challenge. Well, constant may challenge it, but I guess
I hear
the
you.
start.
Yeah.
I think for me, when I got into motorsport, there wasn't really that much women in
Okay.
racing, and
Was that a good thing or a bad thing?
honestly, I think it was a double-edged sword. In terms of
Okay.
media, they were like, "Hey, something new." In terms of the racing industry, it was more on, "Okay, she's a novelty, she's a joke." I mean, I've had one guy, like, I remember he literally bumped me from behind to take me off the track. And when the stewards told him off, he was like, "Hey, I'm sure she loved it because women love it from behind." I've had crazy comments like that. And I guess it was a good thing also because I, I had something to prove. This was
Right.
way back then. I mean, now I just see myself as a racer. I'm just a racer, just like anyone else. Yeah.
Very cool. And then now that you've done all of this in terms of motorsports, you've
Mhm.
done 20 years. It's been a great career racing locally, internationally, winning races. I mean, what are your dreams if you still have dreams for motorsports?
Oh yes.
And have you achieved it?
Well, there's always, you see, you're focused on a dream, and you're like, okay, when you get there, you want another one and another one. I remember I was just talking to someone, like, I think a year ago about this, that it just dawned on me that my first goal was actually one race. I was like, just let me race once internationally and I'm good.
And which one
20
is
years
this?
later, yeah, that was my initial goal, and obviously I didn't
Oh,
stop there.
you mean any international race?
Any internet, just one. I didn't even know that.
Oh,
I was just like, honestly, I was just, my only exposure to racing was Formula One. And I
yeah.
was like, I just want to race. And I think that's why I was really bullheaded about Formula BMW. And I remember when I was talking to my father in particular about this, he was like, don't do it. You're just wasting your money. It's hard. You're going to, very frank about things. I'm like, no. It's like, if you do it, bahala ka. I'm not going to help you. And that's why I ended up literally selling stuff. When I traveled, that was the first year I was really traveling in Asia. I've gone to the States with my parents when I was around 11, 12, but that was it. I was flying alone. I would stay there a few days after just to see, like, try to get in touch with the Filipino community, see if they could sponsor me. Hence the whole "your ad here." I've
Hmm.
had so much stories in and out of the racetrack. I think my stories outside of the racetrack, because of the way I tried looking for sponsors or tried looking for avenues, is as colorful. Because I'm like, I just look back and like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've done this. But anyway, harping back to the question, I think the goal would be Le Mans. I really, ever since I did the Enduro series, I've always fell in love with endurance racing, and the main goal would be to race in Le Mans.
That's amazing. I heard that from another one of my guests as well. Calling Francis
Oh,
Aguila. I think you have a teammate. I
uy!
can connect you guys.
Uy, madali yan. Madali yan.
Diba?
No, Francis.
Okay. All
Yeah.
right. So we can talk about that on another episode. I should get both of you guys on. We can talk about get the road to Le Mans, right?
Yeah.
That would be awesome.
Meetings of a team.
Diba? And we can also get Arthur De Jong here as well because he's done it, so he can be our guide.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right.
Yeah,
So So now that we've done motorsports, I think what I want to touch on is you as a entrepreneur, right? So you've become an influencer, you've been on the covers of these magazines, and then you've become an entrepreneur. So talk to us about that side of your journey.
Well, okay, the whole like media part and stuff like that came about because of racing, you know. And I happened to fall in love with it after. Aside from that, I've always been, because I grew up in the office. My parents always brought me to whatever business endeavor they've done. I mean, so since as long as I could remember, I think I started a carinderia when I was around, I think, 19 years old, 18 years old. It was called Baka Gutom. Then I even had a
It's a good name. I like it.
tattoo parlor in Eastwood at one point. I did a bunch of other things. Then before I ended up with Vinyl on Vinyl, which was coincidentally my first love, which is art. I wanted to really become an artist growing up. Was dissuaded because of the whole stigma of that. When I went to PBB, they made me paint, and I was like, hey, I missed it. So right after PBB, that's when I started with Spoon. So I was in the States for, I think, 10 months that year. And in between races, I would just go to art galleries. And there was a specific type of art that I really fell in love with. And I remember talking to my friend about it, and he wanted to do vinyl records. And I was like very much into vinyl toys and the art behind that. Hence the name Vinyl on Vinyl. And 10 years later, we're still here, which is, something that I'm very happy about.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
To be in business for 10 years is a really, really big thing, because a lot of entrepreneurs start businesses and within 1 year they're done, right? So for you to be around 10 years is an amazing feat.
That took a lot of resilience, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. Honestly, I mean, it was a crazy roller coaster ride, and I'm happy that we're here. What you're seeing right now are ongoing exhibitions. The one on the right is by Ian De Jesus. The one on the left is by Jerome Soriano. There's actually a virtual tour, because I know it's tricky to go outside right now. Hopefully we could, fling the link and you guys could check it out. See our gallery. We have 4 shows. I hope.
Okay, you know what, Gabs? We're gonna put it on right now. So.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Here we go. Can you talk us through it, Gabs?
Okay, this is actually the entrance. You see over here is our main show, which is by Ian De Jesus. All her works are right over there. And now as you move, okay, this is with Jerome Soriano. So you see those like small icons over there. You could actually click on it. And this is by IKEA, Rizalon. Yeah, so you could
awesome
photos.
So you can actually go close up into those pieces of art, right?
You want,
cool.
You could see all the details in the tabs over there. I think you guys would be interested, all the motoring guys would be interested with this show in our upper gallery. This is by Bembol de la Cruz. And if you look at it, it's an exhibition on cars. Wreck cars. So it's quite fascinating.
Wreck cars.
When you really look at it, you look at the depth. You could see the detail of what the artist wanted to express, and also the emotion of it. So that's basically our main 4 shows. We have that. Then I don't know if you still want to go in front. We have the back room where you can go to the 2nd floor over there. If you could click on top really quick, anything there. They could look at it on their own instead.
Okay. Yeah. So basically, this is great because people, sometimes people don't want to go out now because of COVID. This would basically allow them to see everything that's there. And if there's something that speaks to them, then they could actually physically check it out to come and
Yeah.
purchase, right?
Yes. Yeah, they could check it
Awesome.
out. Then if they want to know more, obviously they could get in touch with us through email, IG, Facebook. I mean, we're all there. Yeah. So those
Okay,
are
great.
from Alt that it was a local fair that we just started this year. It was last February. Yeah.
Okay, and then that's a showroom, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna put the link down below so that everybody can check it out. And if they want to check you guys out on Facebook and Instagram, how do they do that?
Yeah, just look for us at Vinyl on Vinyl Gallery. Yeah, that's our Instagram, and I think on Facebook it's the same thing. We will have a website soon.
I like that. That's really cool.
Oh, thank you. Which
that
one?
That is cool.
The painting.
No, the poster, the colorful poster. What is that? Is that a poster or a painting?
That
is it print?
That's actually woodcuts. That is by a street artist. Her name is Chang Cariel.
Oh, that's awesome.
Thanks.
Yeah, we gotta talk soon.
yes. Let me fill up your home with art.
I like street art. Okay, so aside from all of this stuff, you just finished the project, right? So you were telling us about this project that you did with the kids.
Yes. Basically, actually, it's grade school friends. It started last year, but we only really started selling our salad kits early this year. So it's
does this have anything to do with the art gallery, or is this totally different?
No, totally different. I know.
Okay, all right, cool.
My many hats.
Okay.
So it's an urban farm which is situated in Taguig. So we sell different salad kits. We have 3 different kits now to choose from, and yeah, it's freshly picked, freshly made. I actually bike there every Wednesday and pack it and harvest it ourselves to deliver. I'll give you one. Let me know how you like it.
I like it. I'm a salad kit kind of person. Gusto ko yung yung linalagay na lang and then game. Mahirap yung
Toppings, may dressing, if you want something sweet or sour. Yeah.
Okay, so how do people order this stuff, Gabs?
Well, we do have a website, which is Farm Forces PH. Or you could go to our Instagram, which is Farm Forces as well. I'll
how do you
send
spell that?
Link, and hopefully
as in Farm Forces, like the Army Forces,
yes,
right?
Because it's in Appleby, so we kind of played around with that. So even if you get our kits and everything, there's a little, because it's called Luna, Silang, and Bonifacio. So there's a kit also on our heroes and everything. And yeah, so it's called Farm Forces PH. You could Google it right now, or you could look at Instagram. And yeah, there you could get all the details there. Hope you guys like it. I will
grab it, Gabs. You are such an overachiever. From all of the stuff that you've accomplished in motorsports, all of your entrepreneurial adventures, I want to congratulate you. I think that's great.
I thank you. Well, I am a Gemini. So
if you're interested in urban post-organic salad kits, this is it.
It's a handful to say, I know.
No, sounds good. I'll buy it. Okay, so we're gonna wrap up our show, and before we do wrap it up, Gabs, I think what we want to do is we want to throw out a learning to the people out there. And my question to you is, out of all of the different entrepreneurial ventures that you've been involved in over the last whatever number of years, and it's been a lot, so I'm not going to talk about the number of years, what is your biggest failure, and what have you learned, or what has it taught you?
Biggest failure, obviously, would be failing. I mean,
Okay.
nothing
Good.
really goes smoothly. I mean, or even like 100%. Not, yeah, I think it does happen, but it's like 0.1%. And if it does happen, I have yet to meet someone who's done everything flawlessly and hasn't had any good bumps. I mean, I've failed so much times, and even in racing, in the gallery, in like with the farm and everything. And I think with that is you really just have to pick yourself up. And I think it's also there is beauty in failing, in a sense. There is
Yes.
beauty because there are lessons to be learned. And
Yes.
those are the, I could say, some of the most important lessons. Not only does it
Okay.
obviously teach you resilience, but it also gives you things to learn, things to, tweak and model out to watch out for.
Okay. So there you have it. Gaby Dela Merced, as an entrepreneur, when you fail, make sure that you learn something beautiful out of that experience.
Yes.
Okay, so with that said, I want to thank everybody for watching our show tonight, and we hope to see you in our upcoming shows this October and November. If you haven't already liked our Facebook page, please do so now at Tuason Racing, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Tuason Racing TV. And of course, don't forget to hit the notification bell to stay updated on our latest happenings. Gaby, you want to say goodbye to everybody?
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, JP. Thanks, Tuason Racing, for having me. See you soon.
And this is JP Tuason. See you guys next week on another episode of Riding Shotgun Conversations. See ya.